welcome to another episode of Writing Unalone, open literary love letters for the fabulous choreopoem Roadmap. I'm Monica Prince, and if you haven't pre-ordered Roadmap yet, you are failing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to want to be the one to tell you, but it's true. Pre-order it today. It comes out from Santa Fe Writers Project on July 1st, and you don't want to be the last one to have it. Today's open literary love letter is for the stunning and spectacular Dr. Michelle Alexander. If you do not know who Michelle Alexander is, you probably also don't know about the new Jim Crow. But if you do, that's the author. Dr. Michelle Alexander is a spectacular human being who's been researching race and incarceration and the ways that societal pressures of capitalism and white supremacy have impacted Black communities. I am in awe of this person's work. Like, I can't even tell you how incredible she is, and I really wish I can meet her one day because she's stunning. I bring her up not just because you should read the new Jim Crow, which you absolutely should. It was introduced to me by Dr. Fred Hoard, actually, right after it was published in 2012. I think it was 2012. It's a stunning book. But I bring her up because that book also calls attention to the fact that there are more Black men in prison, incarcerated, or under watch by the criminal justice system than were enslaved in 1850. That means that right now, in the United States, there are more Black men in prison, incarcerated, on parole, on probation, than Black men who were enslaved in 1850, which is before the Civil War, y'all. Y'all remember how your facts work. That's before the Civil War. We call attention to this because it means that incarceration has become basically it's a stopgap to avoid dealing with the people society does not want to deal with, not necessarily criminals, but Black people. There are more people of color in jail than more people of color are represented in prisons than their white counterparts. It's a whole problem. Calling attention to this allowed me to better understand what it means when we're talking about incarceration beyond just the school to prison pipeline. The benefit of me learning this information and exploring it and researching it is that it actually played a huge role in writing the song On the Outside, which shows up in my choreopoem. That particular song focuses around what happens to Black men and men of color in general when they end up in prison. And essentially not really what happens to them, but why they end up there, why the recidivism rate is so high, which is reoffending after being released, and why we kind of don't question it because our societal expectations and our cultural conditioning states that that's where they belong. We all know that's not true. We all know that's not true. But that's what implicit bias allows us to believe. So thank you, Dr. Michelle Alexander, for giving me this information, for encouraging me to research more, to learn more about what this means, and giving me a sort of like launching point for me to fight mass incarceration in the United States. It is not just a small issue, and it doesn't just impact one person. We're talking about an entire ethnic group that is being unfairly harmed and imprisoned. Thank you for teaching me that. Thank you for teaching us all that. And if you haven't read the new Jim Crow, y'all, you need to do this today. Just go and get it. Go get it now. Just do it. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for that to arrive, you can also pre-order my choreopoem Roadmap and allowing yourself the luxury of my research. And then there's also a lovely little guide in the back that tells you where you can learn more. So do you want to know about that? Obviously you do. So you have to buy the book. Buy it today. Do it now. Just click, 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 click. Do it. You'll be great. That's all for today. So I will see you again tomorrow for another open literary love letter. In the meantime, be well. Be well.